Well, millions of Americans rely on smart home devices, from thermostats to security cameras, but a recent survey reveals many consumers don't realize how easily these devices can become bricked or rendered useless due to software updates, disconnected or discontinued support, or security vulnerabilities.
Now, consumers, we spend hundreds, sometimes thousands on smart gadgets only to find out they can be shut down remotely by manufacturers. So how can you prevent this from happening with your next smart tech purchase? We brought in Shelly, professor of advanced media and residence at the Newhouse School of Public Communications. He's here to break it down for us. Now, Shelly, when we buy our smart gadgets, that's the last thing that crosses our minds, that the manufacturer can shut it down. What's this all about?
So it's really interesting. When you go and buy something like a smart thermostat or a doorbell camera, you're shopping price and you're shopping features, and everybody goes and checks and gets social proof and says, okay, this is the right one to buy. But what a lot of people don't do is calculate the useful life. Like, how long is this thing expected to last? And this survey from Consumer Reports was fascinating because it turns out mostly everybody just thinks it's going to last forever. And here's the just reality check. It won't. So it's very interesting. If you buy a cheap doorbell cam from a no-name manufacturer and you got it at the right price, and 3 years later it stops working, you shouldn't be surprised. And I think it's important for people to understand that there are 3 things you need to check when you're going to buy something that's smart, in quotes, for your house, including a smart television for that matter. First, you want to have a name brand, because the name brands will always be supporting you until when they stop supporting, they will tell you we're going to end of life, and they give you plenty of notice, and they're really good about it. Whereas off brands or brands you've never heard of, they don't really do that. Make sure you actually register for the warranty so that they do have your information, so that they can tell you if there's going to be a software update or if they're going to end of life a device. A lot of people throw away the warranty cards, don't go online and sign up for the warranty. That's actually a big mistake if you're going to connect it to your home network. You have to have incredibly realistic expectations about how long something's going to last and calculate it into the cost. Something that's super cheap is cheap for a reason. When you look at a name brand light switch, you really don't want to find out that the software in the light switch isn't supported 3 or 5 years into it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The light switch to last forever. So those are the kinds of things that I think are just important for a Tuesday morning.
You know, when I was reading the script, I said, you know, when did I buy my smart TV? Was that like 10 years ago? Is Shelly going to yell at me that my 10 years, and I get mad at it because it doesn't connect to the Bluetooth the way I want it to? Is that, I mean, I don't know if that's a software update, but that just, sometimes you hit the expiration date on this stuff.
It's so important, Dan. Your smart TV, when you go and buy all the extra features in your smart TV, you need to know that TV is obsolete the minute you hang it on the wall. That processor is at least a year behind in design and at least a year behind in manufacture. So you can buy a less expensive TV with less smart features and get an external smart TV like a Roku stick or a Fire TV stick, which are a few, $40, $50, and when they're done, you just get a new one. Why spend all the extra money on a television? Get the best picture quality, but you don't need all the smart parts of it, because that's not going to last. Those are the kinds of things you want to research. How long will the technology last? I'm much more interested in when people are doing security cameras and doorbells. And the other thing about this is really important. When a inexpensive or no-name piece of technology goes out of date that's in your smart home, and that includes switches, light bulbs, thermostats, they become incredibly vulnerable to security flaws. So. This does get scary. Your devices aren't listening to you, but if they're vulnerable, like your Wi-Fi network becomes vulnerable. So keep them up to date.
All right, Shelly. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Got it, guys. See you soon.
You too.